The top 10 Marvel Superpowers. Hey Crash, you're gonna love what I've got in store for you today. We're gonna talk about the top 10 Marvel Superpowers.
Finally, something cool! So, what are the rules here? Ooh, I know! Let's rank them by their sheer awesomeness.
That's, sort of vague, don't you think? I'm thinking we rank them by their usability in crime fighting.
How did I know you were gonna make this shit?
Come on, stick with me here. This is gonna be a fun one, I promise. Number 10. Dark Force. Now what is Dark Force, you may ask? According to Marvel scientists, Dark Force is the name given to a negative energy drawn from a dimension near our own, nicknamed the Dark Force dimension. Little is known about this dimension, but there are connections between it and our dimension through various individuals and objects. Nightcrawler, from the X-Men, uses this dark matter to teleport by vanishing in a puff of black smoke. Darkstar can manipulate this unknown force into a solid matter of her choice.
So pretty much this stuff can do absolutely anything. Why is this at number 10 again?
Well, there is a downside to this dark and mystical extra-dimensional energy. As seen with the superhero duo Cloak and Dagger, Cloak uses the Dark Force to swallow his enemies in the darkness of his cloak and devour them. He has to devour them as the Dark Force that makes up his superpower gives him an unending hunger, and can only be satisfied by either consuming his enemies or being in the presence of Dagger, whose superpowers are based on light. Marvel scientists have also noted these side effects with feelings of coldness and, in time, lethargy.
Well then sign me up because I'm already at my laziness peak. How could it possibly get any worse?
Number 9. Healing Factor. It's the power possessed by Wolverine, Deadpool, and Sabretooth, and you have to admit these guys are pretty hardcore. Deadpool has survived something as vicious as amputation, as well as decapitation.
If you count the Wolverine origin movie, that is.
In any case, whether brought on by genetics, science, or magic, the strength of the healing factor varies too greatly from person to person to be a solid defense against the criminal's weapon of choice. Sometimes it can save you from a shot to the head, which Wolverine did in the second X-Men movie, although some of that can arguably be attributed to his adamantium-coated skeleton. Or you could win the genetic lottery and survive decapitation, like Deadpool. Essentially, even if you get the ultimate and most usable healing factor, you're better off looking at some other power to fight crime.
Plus, it's just not bloody impressive enough to rank high on this list. I want to see something more aggressive.
Number 8. Magic. Whether by the mystic powers of magical artifacts, spells, and phrases, or the raw magic of chaos, magic is an all-purpose power. It may be something of a natural gift, such is the case with Scarlet Witch and her chaos magic, or a skill you could master, just as the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, did. It has a long and proud history, regardless of cultural origin, with an infinite wealth of knowledge and mystical artifacts to help you in your quest to rid the world of crime and injustice.
Plus, it looks cool as shit, which helps.
But what if you don't have a master or teacher to show you the right way to use this magic? The classic story of the Sorcerer's Apprentice shows how badly magic can go without the proper training. Your power can backfire, making magic powerful, but risky.
You have a point there. The last thing I want in the midst of battle is to die at my own hands.
Number 7. Extrasensory abilities. As seen with Wolverine's heightened senses, Spider-Man's spider sense, and Daredevil's almost radar-like senses, having extrasensory abilities is a nice little trick to have up your sleeve when fighting criminals. Extrasensory abilities are defined by Marvel scientists as the ability to perceive information about future places or events before they happen. Spider-Man can sense an oncoming attack outside his field of vision, and both Daredevil and Wolverine can either smell or hear the attack come before it hits.
Essentially, no one's gonna get the jump on you, which is handy.
Right, this power is great if you're the fist-fighting, hand-to-hand combat type of vigilante, but it also can maybe help you to dodge snipers' shots. The snag to this superpower is that any, if not all of your super heightened senses can be overstimulated, or get confused and mess up your perception. We've seen super sniffers like bloodhounds get thrown off a scent by conflicting odors, and anyone with a keen sense of hearing can get overstimulated by a sound blast or frequency, like standing right next to a ringing church bell or an LRAD.
Plus, it's only really good to have if you're already amazingly athletic. Otherwise, you're like a hypersensitive potato.
That's an interesting thought. Number 6. Telekinesis. Used by Phoenix, aka Jean Grey, and Professor X, telekinesis is the ability to move, mold, and control any object you can think of. Literally. Unlike magnekinesis, which is the metal manipulating power of Magneto, you're not limited to know if you actually can move a certain object. As long as you can see it and feel it with your mind, you can pull it apart all the way down to its atomic level if you wanted to, as was seen in the third X-Men movie, where the reawakened Phoenix split the Professor into nothing but atoms.
Whoa, hold up. That was the Phoenix, not just any telekinetic hero. If you're going to pick on the variety of healing factor strengths, then we have to do the same for the other items on the list.
Fair point. I was just demonstrating what the most powerful telekinetic being could do. But telekinesis can also lead to telepathy and the ability to create force fields along with other powers. So long as your opponents are not a stronger telekinetic, a Quicksilver sort of person, or a super skilled ninjas that are able to outwit you, you should be fine. But keep in mind that if your enemy finds a way to poison or drug you,
or really anything that disrupts your focus,
you may end up being just a sitting duck. Number 5. Shapeshifting. When talking about shapeshifting, one of the first people that comes to mind is Mystique, who is able to shift her form into any person she can think of. But the category of shapeshifting is much wider than just being able to copy people. So let me reel off a few for you.
Oh fuck, here we go.
There's metamorphosis, as with Mystique. Then there's anamorphosis, the ability to change into an animal form of any kind, and maybe even gain the characteristics of said animal. Polymorphosis is the ability to change everything: mass, appearance, and form. You could be a Therathrope, the were shapeshifting ability, where you change form from human into one animal form, for example a lycanthrope or a werewolf. And lastly, there's liquefaction and sublimation, which makes it possible to change from a solid to either a liquid or a gas respectively. This would be the definition of Sandman's ability to change from solid human form into his sandy silicon form.
That was a lot to take in.
Each variation has its drawbacks, however.
Of fucking course it does!
If you can't imitate the mannerisms of the person you shapeshift into, your ability will be flawed. Your animal form can have its own set of weaknesses. Like a bear is strong but slow, or a mouse is sneaky but weak. How much of your humanity do you keep when you're in your were form? How well will your liquid or gas form hold together by climate disturbances, like strong winds or freezing temperatures? Essentially, each can be useful if used proficiently. Number 4. Intangibility. Keeping close to shapeshifting, intangibility is the power to phase through solid mass by making yourself non-solid, like Shadowcat or Vision. They can both phase through solid masses, which is a great power to have when you want to dodge certain attacks that would result in serious harm. You can also phase things or people with you, so it also makes for a great escape or rescue mission.
Or for sneaking into the girls' locker room. Or heck, maybe even the guys' locker room. To all the invisible women out there, I ain't got nothing to hide.
That's gonna be one of the creepiest things you've ever said. It's yet to be seen whether superheroes or villains have managed to phase through other states of matter, such as plasma or certain liquids such as lava. But overall, the ability to phase through your enemies and make them punch themselves instead of you sounds pretty effective.
And funny too.
Number 3. Trichokinesis. When looking at this ability among the many other forms of kinesis, I was struck by the unusualness of it. I mean, who can claim to have so much control over your hair that it functions as an extra appendage, whether it be on your head
or elsewhere?
How many of your enemies would freak out over being beaten by hair? There are, of course, the risks of fire, and it's not known how far the growth of hair can be maintained.
Jesus, number 3 is powerful hair? Can't wait to see the rest of this list.
I know it's silly, but it's earned a spot here for its uniqueness and freak-out factor. Number 2. Illusion. Some would say shapeshifting and illusion are much the same ability. They both fool your opponent, but illusion is more than just changing how you yourself look to your opponents. In fact, you can change the appearance of anything. Other people, objects, and even whole environments.
Perception is reality after all.
That was surprisingly insightful of you, Crash, especially when not 2 minutes ago you were acting like a creep. Also, depending on the strength of your power, you can project this illusion for as long and as intensely as you wish. Your only weakness is technology. Heat sensors and video cameras will not be affected by illusions. So illusions get the number 2 spot for versatility and the ability to sneak past enemies, or better yet, let them fight each other in the illusions you project. Number 1. Cyberpathy. The power to mentally control all electronic systems. In the modern era of wireless connections and Bluetooth, everything has some sort of electronic component built into it. Cyberpathy is the ultimate power to make things miserable for the villains, as they often use various technologies and hacking to control their evil criminal empire. But with cyberpathy, you're able to hack them and cripple their organization. We know how people go into a panic when they or their companies are hacked. Think of the destruction you could wreak on the bad guys by blocking their criminal endeavors. Cyberpathy has to have the most outstanding usability, awesomeness, and versatility.
I don't know, Culture. What if they aren't using technology at all? Then you're sort of dead.
Then bring in your own technological weapons, confident in the fact that even if your weapons fall into enemy hands, they have no way of using it. But hey, this list is just my opinion. If you guys have any other suggestions or would rank this list differently, then leave a comment down below.
Or you can just tell Culture he's a pompous twat.
Follow CultureCrash on social media!